Usinipende, usiniache niende. Usinipende, usiniache niende.
This is Black Radio.
If you fall in love like I do, usinipende mama. If you want designer, buy for you. Junakupenda sana, what you get to, hakuna gado. All I can offer, baby, she got love, yeah. Usinipende, usiniache niende, yeah. I see, play a guitar for you. Sing a little song as we dance to the tune. Yeah, da-di-da-di-da for you. Da-di-da-di-da for you. Oh baby, play a guitar for you. Sing a little song as we dance to the tune. Yeah, da-di-da-di-da-da-da. Da-di-da-di-da-da-da. Usinipende, usiniache niende. Usinipende, usiniache niende. This is my chance for you. Kill a boy and I die for you. I was standing like a pyramid, front line in a battlefield. Yeah, hallelujah, yeah. I will die for you, yeah. Hallelujah, yeah. I will die for you. What you need get to, hakuna gado. All I can offer, baby, she got love, yeah. Usinipende, usiniache niende, yeah. I see, play a guitar for you. Sing a little song as we dance to the tune. Yeah, da-di-da-di-da for you. Da-di-da-di-da for you. Oh baby, play a guitar for you. Sing a little song as we dance to the tune. Yeah, da-di-da-di-da-da-da. Da-di-da-di-da-da-da. I saw on my side, new tricks. Imagine I need so in a man for bricks. Could she go glad in vain? I feel the pain when I in the rain. Yeah, come on me, cause it doesn't make me. The reason to love you indeed. The reason to put you in the sea. For your family. Na 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 na, yeah. Usinipende. Na 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 na, yeah. Baby, nipende, what you get to, hakuna gado. All I can offer, baby, she got love, yeah. Usinipende, usiniache niende, yeah. I see, play a guitar for you. Sing a little song as we dance to the tune, yeah. Da-di-da-di-da for you, da-di-da-di-da for you.
Oh no no. This is Black Radio Media.
That's just a video. Baby, I get the chills and I get the shots. I go cooking as the best way. It goes to my songs. I go do the dance together. Give me the time and to my back. Trust me, I will rock you harder. You will have me more like I got. You be like hey, and like the shot to my body. You be like say, baby, I like the shot to my body. Let me feel your sexy touch all over me. Give me nicely all over me. I will feel your love all over me. Give me sexy all over me. Let me feel your sexy touch all over me. Give me nicely all over me. I will feel your love all over me. Give me crazy all over me. I feel really nice. Everybody loves to give it super. Oh, they love to give it super. I said, let me dance, give it super. And the brother be the sweeter. Tell me instead of it, I like her. I got the love to give her so Iche, love. I like the sweet passion love. This your love now, this your love now, tender. So for a sweet, my only killer. Tell me the Tracy, I like to see her. From my land back to America. My love for you, baby, no go scatter. You know go scatter, you know go scatter. Yeah, you know go scatter. You know that I give you sex, it's natural over me. Give me nice sleep all over me. I can feel it all over me. Give me nice sleep all over me. Let me give you sex, it's natural over me. Give me nice sleep all over me. I can feel it all over me. Give me nice sleep all over me. I feel it when I am beautiful. I feel it when I am beautiful. My baby loves me now. I feel me now. When you make me dance, give me super. My baby loves me, give me super. Everybody loves me, give me super. All you dance, give me super. It's just a video. That's the best one.
And yes, thank you for the applause, family. Thank you for the applause. Yes, that is what we are all about here on the Black Hot Fire Radio. Karibuni sana to the show. This is the Pan African Bliss Show. My name is Joby, and you're tuned in into the Black Hot Fire Radio. Media for the 21st century. How are you doing this wonderful Friday? The weekend is just kicking in, and of course, I'm so positive and I'm so happy. I'm so hyped up. Actually, I woke up with a very, very exciting mood today, more than the other days. Actually, I don't know what's up, but I'm so hyped up. I don't know if it's because the weekend is kicked in, but I'm so happy. Karibuni sana, the Black Hot Fire family. This is the Pan African Bliss Show, and my name is Joby. Karibuni sana. Please do remember to interact with us. That is on Facebook at the Black Hot Fire Network. On Twitter is the hashtag Pan African Bliss with Joby, and also on Instagram you can get all of us. That is on the Black Hot Fire. And do also call us, text us, or SMS us, or tap us at the +254-754-402-730, and tell me where you're listening to us from. And of course, how was your week? Because mine has been super fantastic. And of course, being here with you, family, it's always a pleasure. I mean, you can wake up with a negative mood, or you wake up, you have so many things in your head. But when I get here, trust me, the mood just definitely changes, because we have amazing jams that we get to, share with you. We have some positive vibes to give out all the way here from Kenya, Nairobi, to all, to all the Black Hot Fire family. Please interact with us. And do remember, if you've missed any of these amazing positive vibes, if you've missed any of these amazing jams, because I did get to play Independent by the one and only Capadre. And that is just amazing, an amazing jam that you can just, turn into, just switch your mood to the weekend. And of course, I also did get to play you Ikebe Super by the one and only Josie Fishes, all the way from Nigeria. You can get all of our on Farm Music on YouTube if you want to, listen to more of our jams. If you missed any of these positive vibes, family, please trust me, and you can still jam onto them. Get hold of us on www.blackhotfirenetwork.com, and you can also download the app on the Google Play Store and get to enjoy all the amazing, amazing positive vibes that we have here are lined up for you. And you can also support us by donating on the PayPal account at the Mr. Black Hot Fire Network, and also at the www.blackhotfirenetwork. Karibuni sana. Karibuni sana. Please interact with me and tell me where you're streaming in from, where you're listening to us from, because today is on a Friday, and of course, I do believe Fridays, the weekend does start mostly for most of the people on Fridays, and that is when people after work, people get to decide, where are we going to jam today, where are we going to spend the weekend today, what are we going to be doing. Personally, I can say I have so many activities during the weekend. I'm the kind of person who's just chilled. I just Netflix and chill, and I'm not all about going out and stuff, unless
I'm tagged somewhere, but of which it's really rare. But I don't know about you, family. Please interact with me and tell me how you'll be spending your weekend today. And of course, tell us how we can even make it better for you here on the Black Hot Fire Network. Karibuni sana. And of course, here what we're all about here on the Pan-African Bliss Show. If you're just, tuned in today, maybe if it's your first time, you tuning in into the Black Hot Fire Network. My name is Joby, and here we get to talk about matters that, affect us on a daily basis. But at the end of the day, it's not only talking about the matters or maybe discussing the negativities that, are aligning in our lives or get to, affect our life, we get to find a solution. And here on the Black Hot Fire Radio, we get to discuss matters concerning especially the Black people, our African people who are also in the diaspora. And that's when, we're all about, creating unity. We're all about bringing the Black people together. And you know that, how we start our day. How we start our day here, we start with a positive quote of the day. We always start with a positive quote because I do believe, everyone is facing challenges, especially during the pandemic. People are facing challenges. There are those who have lost their jobs, there are those who have lost their marriages, and of course, on a daily basis, sometimes I do wake up and think to myself, even when I'm in the bus coming to work, or maybe just somewhere chill, even in the house, I just wake up and I'm just like, I'm so grateful to the universe for today, for it allowing me to be, or rather see another life, and also to step on the ground. It has given me another chance for me to try again. And I'm always grateful for that. I don't take it for granted. But again, I always question myself, as much as we are grateful for ourselves, there are others who are complaining about it. There are others who wake up, there are others who wake up to divorces. There are others who wake up to marriages. There are others who wake up to proposes. There are others who wake up to gifts. There are others who wake up to losing their jobs. There are others who wake up to finding jobs that they have been haunting for quite a longer time. But for us, we are grateful, the Black Hot Fire family, that we get to unite here together. And of course, we get to give us some positive vibes out there to those who are facing challenges. And the quote of today is, accept no one's definition of your life, define yourself. And I'll repeat, the quote of today goes by, accept no one's definition of life, define yourself. And this basically means, because I do believe sometimes we do allow some people to control our lives so much that we forget that, we are the key holders of whatever we have to do in this life. We all have a purpose, yes, but we have the key holders of our lives. So stop allowing people to define your life. Stop trying to live, the way other people are living. Stop trying to listen to what people are telling you for you to make it right. Listen to your intuitions. Listen to your instincts. Instincts never lie. And that is one thing I do believe. Instincts never lie, and they'll never go wrong with you. If you listen to the first voice, it's always correct. And if you doubt it, it's gonna correct you. And we're gonna take a short musical break. Then when we come back, family, we're gonna be checking out what has been happening throughout the week. And of course, we're gonna be discussing about the topic of today. And of course, this quote of the day, actually, it aligns with the same topic that we have for today. Accept no one's definition of your life. Define yourself. And later on, I'm just going to be touching on and explain to you why it is aligning together with the topic of our day today. We're going to take a short musical break. Then when we come back, as I said, we're going to see what has been happening, because we do believe that, the African continent has a lot going on. And of course, not only the African continent, the whole world, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of gossip. There's a lot of politics things going on. There's a lot of things actually going around. But at the end of the day, what do we need to do? We need to find a solution and, see how we can tackle them around, and see how we can even maybe work with them, or rather help our fellow people, our fellow other African people, because we've seen that, when you talk about our fellow other African people, we've seen that the Chinese right now, or rather currently, they're trying to take over Africa. Rather, they are kind of, trying to own Africa, and of which really I do not support that. So what is it that we can do to change that? So I'm going to take a short musical break, family. Keep it the Black Hot Fire Network. Do remember to interact with me on Facebook, on Twitter, and also on Instagram at the Black Hot Fire Network. On Twitter, do use the hashtag Pan-African Bliss with Joby and hashtag Black Hot Fire Network. Tell me where you're streaming in from. How was your week, and what are the plans for your weekend? Because as I said, mine, I do not have plans. I'm the kind of chill, just Netflix and chill person. But if maybe you can get to tag me, then we can have an amazing weekend. Enjoy this one.
Love knows. This is Black Hot Fire Radio.
I think I started something just the other day. Riding with my dog down to life. Messing hard up in these streets, my 10 toes down. Everybody running right race, 10 toes down. Listening to the rhythm of life. Sounds to me like the mom blues. I get the damn move. Popoti,
Sure you know, no say everything there for you. Sure you know, no, everything there for you. Sure you know, no say everything there for you. Sure you know, no say. Sure you know, no. Every day I'm trying to live my life. I can live in my mind, getting high. And no one in the summer to fly. Riding on my day, getting by. Every day I'm trying to live my life. I live in my mind, getting high. Every day I'm trying to live my life. Every day I'm trying to live my life. Every day I'm trying to live my life. I can live in my mind, getting high. And no one in the summer to fly. Riding on my day, getting by. Every day I'm trying to live my life. I live in my mind, getting high. Every day I'm trying to live my life. Every day I'm trying to live my life. Are you ready or not? Ready or not? That's together. Not the life every day you day. If you ready or not, that's together. I'm living my best life. I'm living my best life. Trying to get it up some more. Trying to get my money on more. Every day I'm trying to live my life. I can live in my mind, getting high. And no one in the summer, to fly. Riding on my day, getting by. Every day I'm trying to live my life. I live in my mind, getting high. Every day I'm trying to live my life. Every day I'm trying to live my life.
This is Black Fire Radio.
Every day I'm trying to live my life. I'm living my mind, getting high.
And yes, thank you for the applause again, family. Thank you. Karibuni sana to the Pan African Bliss Show once again. My name is Joby, and you're tuned in into the Black Fire Radio media for the 21st century. Please interact with us on Facebook, on Twitter at the Black Fire Network. Use the hashtag on Twitter, hashtag Pan African Bliss with Joby, and hashtag Black Fire Network. And tell me you're streaming in from, and you can also get hold of us on Instagram at the Black Fire Network. You can also call us, SMS us, or WhatsApp us and tell us where you're streaming in from. How was your week? And of course, we're kicking into the weekend. And I did just start the show with an amazing, amazing vibes and some music to just keep you into the, turn you into the weekend mood, And you can call us at the +254 754 730 and tell me you're streaming in from it. If you missed any of these amazing, good vibes, any of these amazing good music, because I did get to play that was Wabi Sabi, and you can tell me where you're traveling your life this weekend, because as I said personally, I'm the Netflix and chill kind of person. I don't know about you, but please interact with me and get all of our videos. Kindly like, share, and comment, and tell us where you're streaming in from at the www.blackfirenetwork.com. And you can also download the app on the Google Play. So hi, Kid.
Good morning, Joby. How are you this morning?
I'm good. I'm very good. How about you?
I'm okay.
I can see you so early, so woke up. You woken up so
It's
early.
very early. It's very
Yeah.
early. It's goddamn 4:30 in the morning over this bitch.
Whoa. Welcome to the show.
You guys are real early. Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you to the
Sorry?
show. I said thank you for welcoming
Yeah,
me to the show.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Today we're gonna be discussing about a very serious matter, and just introduce the quote of the day, which goes by accept no one's definition of your life. Define yourself, because I was saying I do believe that most of us do allow to be controlled. Some of us do allow to look up onto other people's life, but we forget that This life is 100% fully our responsibility. We allow people to tell us what to do, forgetting, to listen to our intuition, forgetting to listen to our instincts. And I was saying instincts never lie. And the quote of the day also aligns together with the topic of today, because today we're going to be talking about, Africa defining itself. Africa defining itself.
Africa hasn't defined itself. Africa has been told lies. Africans believe lies about themselves.
Yes.
Africans don't even know their own history. Africans don't know how great they are as a people. So that's why they believe in lies. They worship other people. They hate being African because they don't know who they are. So you gotta know who you are, Joby, before you can define yourself.
True. I enjoyed yesterday's show totally, like clearly. I was really surprised whereby that Nigerian was saying that, he's not a nigger. He's, he came with a flight and shapes, It's really crazy whereby you define
he doesn't understand. Well, exactly.
Sorry?
That's what a lot of Nigerians do. That's what a lot of Nigerians do. They don't like to, somehow, they don't understand the nigger. They call the name nigger came from when the colonizers were coming to Africa, calling black people niggers. They didn't call them niggers not out of Africa, stupid. That's what they called us when they were enslaving us, stupid. Nigeria is known as nigger area. That's where the name came from. That's the name of Nigeria, nigger area. And him not knowing history, and when you looked at them bots, you knew that those were two Africans. But he wanted to say, I'm a different kind of African. I'm a real African. This other guy knocking me out is not African. And only Africans play this silly tribalism game. You can be a Chinese born in China or a Chinese born in California, and they'll never tell you, I'm a real Chinese because I'm born in China. They'll never tell it to a Chinese person born in California. They'll say, yeah, he's Chinese too. Only the African plays this idiotic game of nonsense, and that's why we keep losing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Joby.
It is really crazy whereby you're in denial of your, of your own color, you're in denial of your own culture. And I did say, Africans are afraid. Actually, they are ashamed of their own culture. We are ashamed, and it's really bad whereby you are ashamed of your own color, ashamed of your own culture, ashamed of who you really are.
Then the question goes, Joby, I'm going to interrupt you, sweetheart. The question is, who made you ashamed of you? Who made you ashamed of your culture?
I think
who made you ashamed of your culture?
The Europeans, I guess.
Of course. To dominate you, if you go back and read any historical document, when the Europeans first started coming to Africa, they revered the African, how great the African was, how smart they were. They said, how can we colonize these people?
What is even sicker, what even makes me even sicker is that Africans, despite being in denial of their own culture, they don't see that the Europeans are taking advantage of them being divided, and the division has become something like it's a business to the Europeans, because they are happy when they're happy when the Africans are so
that's their motive, Joby. It's called divide and conquer. That's how they learned. They said we must divide African people to conquer them. That's their that's what it's called. Divide and conquer.
Yeah, and as we speak of unity and the division, as much as the Europeans get to be happy about the African division, I wanted to ask, where did the democracy come from? Because yesterday I was watching a certain video, and I was trying to understand, where did the term democracy come from? And I did get to see that the democracy it came from the Europeans. It was being defined by how the
original democracy as it's supposed to be done came from Africa. It didn't come from Europe. The original democracy meant, okay, let's say you had kings and queens throughout Africa, right? But the kings and queens could not make decisions without talking to a group, a panel of elders, and each elder had to go back to his community and see what the community felt. And then they would take that back to the leader, the king and queen, and then they would discuss what every community felt about a situation and come to a consensus. That's how real democracy works. It doesn't work like that. That came from the African. You must understand, Joby, the African taught every people on the planet civilization. So that's where democracy started, in Africa. It was called Ubuntu. Go ahead, Joby.
From what I did get to see, it was being defined that the democracy was defined in English, and the question was, why was it not defined, in Buganda, the African language? It was defined in the European terms, not the African terms.
Well, they're saying because at that time they were the most. At that time, when you got they call it the Magna Carta, written in I think it was 1215. Called the Magna Carta, written in 1215. In 1215. The Africans still ruled the planet. Because Europe was backwards. Europe was backwards in 1215. Didn't have any colleges, didn't have any universities. Was very, everybody was mostly illiterate, Joby, could not read and write. So they couldn't create democracy. They couldn't read and write. They were illiterate. They were dirty. Folks, they didn't know how to wash themselves. These are facts I'm telling you. Not like I'm making it up. So I'm giving you back your real history. At that time, you had a group of Africans called the Moors. Put us up, Joby. Put us up images of the African Moors. These were the rulers of Europe. Images of the African Moors, Moors. These were your rulers of Europe, teaching the Europeans how to read and write, how to bathe, how to. They were building colleges in Europe to teach the European how to read and write, how to bathe himself and take care of himself. So you had a group of Africans.
And
again, civilized Europeans. Go ahead.
As much as we are talking about, the democracy, I do believe, the term democracy also aligns with the politics. And, the politics are, I was just relating. I sit down and relate some things. As we were talking yesterday, I was just relating some stuff. And, the political party is not also African. It was inherited. And from my definition of inheritance, I do believe it came from the, during the slavery moments, because if you can say from the movie, I'm so much keen with the Underground Railroad, Keith. It's really giving me so many information and so many, I don't know, it's just giving me a lot of ideas with how Africans, we did acquire a lot of things, or rather inherit a lot of stuff, which we're trying to, act like
you really didn't inherit, you were forced it. You were forced to see, when you take on other people's culture, that's why the Chinese are coming. So they want you to learn Chinese and learn, put them Confucius, and the puppet leaders have allowed China to come and put a Confucian institute in Africa. When you take on someone else's mindset and culture, you destroy yourself, and now you're working in their interest. That's what the European understood. That the Moors did that, but they didn't try to control Europeans. They tried to raise them up to educate them. So you have a group of individuals using African science to control the world. They've corrupted African science, the real thing that works, what you call witchcraft and all that other fake shit. You have an elite group of white people who control the planet using African science. And so when you talk about democracy in Europe, democracy in Africa, there's no democracy in Africa. These are puppets put in there by Europeans, like the Kenyattas. Jomo Kenyatta was put into power by the British. That's why you got the Europeans controlling all the land still in Kenya. Because he was never, the Kenyatta family wasn't rich. So why are they rich today? Because the Europeans put them in power. They put all these puppets in power throughout Africa to make sure the Africans kept giving the resources to Europe.
Actually, it's related to everything that I wanted to say. When you speak of how Jomo Kenyatta, he was put into power by the Europeans. When we look at how the elections are being run today, it's the African election has been turned like a lottery win, whereby if you win, you have access to resources. It's like you have an access to resources, and there in Africa, it's it's like I don't know how to put it, but
the people getting power, they guess what? That's why it's corrupt. The people steal the little resources that they have. Right? Those people, but the majority of resources go back to Europe. of the corruption is why it's so corrupt in Africa. Because those
Yeah.
politicians are the ones stealing the little bit of stuff that's left that the Europeans, from the French, the Germans, the English, have not stolen. That's the reason why Africa is so corrupt. It doesn't have democracy. It's a fiefdom by Europeans. When they didn't leave, they weren't going to leave Africa and say, okay, we're going to leave the richest continent and not have control of it. Hell no. We're going to put our puppets in there. So at the end of the day, you'll think Kenyatta rules Kenya. He does not rule Kenya. The British rule Kenya.
Yeah, I'll say I did speak of that last week, whereby I did say, even if we do have the presidents, or rather look up onto the government, they take orders from the Europeans. They're waiting for the Europeans to have a say, for them to, give it to us. And that's why you see, even right now, despite the pandemic, there's no corona or shit. Because I did even bump into a cop who was like, he was just telling us the reality. He was just like, you guys are wearing masks. I wish you knew. I mean, like, there's no corona happening. People, there's no corona.
No.
If you're going to the government institute,
No,
these people are.
But you can't. Hold on, Joby. You're telling too much truth. You can't say it on YouTube. Exactly right. But you're right, sweetheart. I'm glad you understand that now. That you're not terrified. Oh my God, Tammy's not following precautions. I'm glad you understand that now.
Yeah.
I'm glad you understand that now. But
it's crazy.
But you're exactly right. It is a scamdemic. It's a scamdemic. And all the puppets of Africa have been told, you better put this on your people. You better have them get vaccinated. And understand, the only one that was against it was John Magufuli. So they murdered his ass. Because he was the only leader that wasn't a puppet. So if you don't follow the phony guidelines of Europeans, you guys say, well, why are they doing this to African people? That's why you got to study. You got to study their history towards us. There were no diseases in Africa, Joby. That's why I showed Spike. You had a 137-year-old man that just died in Kenya. The average age of Africans was 150 years, Joby. 150 years was your average lifespan because you didn't have any diseases in Africa. So where did diseases come from? Also, exactly. But you don't know that. You've been told to worship these people. Their average age, Joby, was 35 when they met you.
Your yesterday.
average age was 150, and their average age was 35, Joby. This is a fact. So how can they be your damn God? But go ahead.
Yesterday, I want to just say hi. Good morning to General Mosquito. He's saying hi. Good morning to Brother Keith. He has joined us. Yesterday, I did get to, turn on the show, and I allowed the rest of my family to listen to it. And they were just like, shook. Like, is this what you really talk about? Is this like really what you talk about? And they were like, I was like, yes, this is what we talk about. And if you're not really ready to listen, you're going to be shocked because this is reality. And the one sickest thing is, as much as I was trying to explain to them what we really talk about, Africans do not want to learn about their history. You'll find that young men do not have the sense of their history. They're not even considered about it. They just want to, look up onto the the football, how the football runs, the Arsenal, the Manchester. The young ladies are blinded, or rather imprisoned by the soap operas. They want to live up like the Europeans or the white people,
of course,
the Beyonces and the rest of the artists.
If you don't know where you've been, Joby, you don't know where you're going. That's why when you tell your history, everybody gets offended because your history's so glorified. Whenever you tell real African history, white people get angry. Asians get angry because you ruled the world. Until you understand this, until you go back to know who you are and claim yourself, that's why the African feels inferior because he doesn't know who and she is. And then the African woman, you bow down to no one. You are the beginning of everything. This is a fact. You don't bow down to no European woman. You don't bow down to no Asian woman. The African woman is the most the African, and this is a fact. The African woman is the most superior woman on the planet. Period. And that's a fact.
But most of them do not know that, Keith. Most of them even are not even ready to listen. Most of them are not even ready for the truth. They are not even ready for the truth. They don't want. I can't even go out because yesterday I could see the reactions on the my family's face, and I was just like, y'all not ready for this. You're not ready for this. And they were just like, is this what you really guys talk about? Is this what you really talk about? I'm just like, yes, this is what you really talk about, and you should know deep about yourself, because we are in denial of our, our history. You are in denial of our color. We're in denial of our, our culture.
Yeah.
People are in denial.
I was looking at the show the other day. I think it was 2 days ago with Professor. It was on the Pan African Daily TV when he was telling Dr. Susan Tata, Professor Smalls was telling her, you are the beginning of everything, Dr. Tata. You're the beginning as a black woman. And that's the truth. He said, I'm not doing this to gas you up. I'm telling you the truth. And that is the truth. He was telling the truth. The black woman is the beginning of everything. She didn't come from any man's rib. She didn't come from any man. She didn't come from any white man, some made of Jesus or some made of Allah. The black woman is the beginning of everything on this planet. That's a fact. And everybody knows it. If you study any science, so there was no white, the black woman's not no Jezebel and all this other idiotic, stupid shit. She is the closest thing to God on the planet. And that's a fact. And the funny thing, everybody knows it, but the African.
Actually, when you look at, I do think that as much as you're talking about, African women being, the superior, I also do, from my own sense of, thinking and the reality, black women are really strong. You cannot compare a white woman to a black woman.
I'm glad you realize that. Yes. How about that? Yes, Joby. Yes.
We are really strong. We can endure anything and we can conquer anything as well.
You're the strongest woman on the planet, Joby, because you are the beginning of everything. I'm glad. Yes. Yes, that's a fact. Yes. Yes.
And I can see General Mosquito saying that, when you love yourself, they get angry. And that is so true. Because you can see even here, when you're trying to tell people the truth, they're just like, this bitch is just bluffing. They think you're just talking things that do not make sense. They think like, you're trying to to outcast yourself from them, but it's the reality that you're seeing. It's the awakening for me. It's the awakening. Because right now, even if I try to tell people about the vaccine, I was just talking about, the vaccine with a certain driver when I was coming to work. And I was just asking him, did you take the vaccine? Have you taken the jab? And he was like, no, but my wife has really taken it and it is really affecting her. Like she told me that,
no.
Yeah.
Oh, no. And another thing, family, I'm going to say this now. I know you two, take it. If anybody you went to back, you better not have sex, because the spike protein, the people that take the vaccine are the most dangerous to you. They're the ones going to fix it. If you're sleeping with this person, being with this person, you're going to get the same thing as being vaccinated. It has spike protein. There's some dangerous, wicked shit these people have done. It's some wicked ass science. It's wicked. It's some wicked shit.
It is really scary, Keith, because when I think of myself and you see that the African young youths do not want to listen, then they are the ones who are running to this thing. Because if we get a chance, the way Uganda had introduced the 24 hours lottery thing for you to get a vaccine, if this comes to Kenya, a lot of people are going to die. A lot of young people are going to die, because considering young youths do not have jobs, they will run for these opportunities because they need money, they need money to cater for themselves and to look up onto their family, So when I think of myself,
guess what, Joby? You can't have money. You can have money, but if you're dead, you can't spend it.
My worry or my fear is on the, personally yet, I'm not yet married. So what if I want to settle and I get a partner who is vaccinated? This is really scary.
You can't, Joby. You can't. You can't. You can't.
I can't.
You can't. That's a no. Hell no. I won't even hire nobody that has been took that shit to work in there with you guys. Hell no. That's a no. No way. I know the science behind it. Hell no. I won't hire anybody. He say, hey, have you been vaccinated? Yeah. I said, well, okay. Sorry, I can't hire your ass. Adios. Good luck to you.
Africa needs to wake up. I do hope that these messages that we get to give out here on the Blackout Friday.
A lot of them are waking up. I will admit, a lot of them are waking up. A lot of them are waking up. No one's going.
With the help,
Family.
with
The reason why you have AIDS and Ebola on the continent. This was to wipe out the African. The African is so strong. This is to wipe them out so they can have access to those resources. These are facts. Even white people told. I gotta share a video. Even white people, it's the truth. Even white people told the truth. That's been the policy of Europe and America to wipe the African out and steal the land. That's the policy. I'm not making that up. And then also, that's why they came to Kenya. And sadly enough, the women didn't know they trusted white people. They said, we're going to give you something that's going to stop from cancer. It was a lie. It was to sterilize African women. So they sterilized 500,000 Kenyan women 5 or 6 years ago. And that was sanctioned by the dumbass Kenyatta government. That's why they are culpable. But lucky enough, you have one Kenyan doctor say, hold on. We got to find out what the fuck is in this stuff. And when they found out what was in it, it was a sterilization agent. Had nothing to do about helping those Kenyan women. It was to make sure they couldn't have babies. No one was ever prosecuted. You can look this up, Joby. And no one, guess what? The white people who brought it were never put in prison. The Kenyatta government was never held responsible. And these women are sterile for the rest of their lives. And that was on purpose. It was to sterilize all Kenyan women because the thing is to wipe out African people. That's always been the goddamn scam. Go ahead, Joby.
People are blinded, kids. People are really blinded here because we did get to see that, when the jab was introduced here in Kenya, our president and the wife fooled us that they have taken the jab and they are trying to influence the other people.
They ain't take that shit.
Yes, they did. And I was really proud. I was really proud because Museveni, I do believe Museveni is one of the people who is really seeing reality right now because he did get to mention about, how the Europeans are taking advantage of us because we don't want to learn about ourselves. We don't want to learn about our cultures. They take samples. And he said something to do, the Europeans coming to take samples from the Africa, then they go create a disease, then they bring it back, claiming that, it came from Africa. Then they bring the vaccine to come and kill us. And the government knows what is going on, but they don't want to tell people,
Of course, because those are purpose. Their families have been given trinkets, a little bit of money, because these people that you think are your leaders are not your leaders. They're put there by Europeans to control African population. There's a wake-up coming, and that's what all your ancient Africans told you. We go through a sleep period, Joby. The Africans gonna start waking up. And these leaders are gonna be murdered because Africa. You come from a brilliant race of people. I want you to know this, Joby. Your people are not idiots. Your history is brilliant. You come from a brilliant race of people. Brilliant. All the sciences were created by you, Joby. All the math on the planet was created by you. All the social sciences were created by you. All civilization was created by you. These are historic facts. A lot of people get mad when you talk about it because it's just the truth.
They're gonna get mad.
The African is like, yes, everything on the planet, even from furniture, the first chair was created by an African. The first couch was created by an African. The first dress was created by an African.
Because we have the sources. I do believe we have the sources. Despite us being the richest country, the continent, we have all the sources. I mean, look at our nature. When I look at where my father comes from, we have the best, the best nature that, we can ever ask for. The green pastures, everything is so natural. The food, everything, none of them is chemical.
What is that? That's ask Google. Google's like, say, is Africa the richest continent on the planet? Let's ask Google. Let's ask. Put this in Google. Say, is Africa the richest continent on the planet? It'll tell you, hell yeah. It's deemed to be. It might be. It is. It's unquestionably the richest continent on the planet. Period.
It is so crazy. And my fear, I'm just so scared because, I'm planning to go see my parents, and I don't know if they've really taken the vaccine, but it will be really a shock if I get to hear they have really taken the vaccine, because I don't know what my reaction will be, because it's really
Tell
crazy.
them to know. Hey,
Sorry?
tell your parents to watch. I'll talk to them as an adult. I'll try to
Even if you
explain
tell
it to them
them,
and show them.
they won't listen. That is the problem that we have as Africans. We're waiting for them Zungu to tell us.
I know, but I would show them undisputed science with white people. Because it's hard for them to listen to black people. I would show them white people to help their ass out. Yeah. Listen to these white people, please. These white people think.
Mhm. It's saying that the African continent has many natural resources and raw materials that make it the most successful and richest continent.
How about that? So why are Africans? So now you got to ask yourself something. Teach a little bit of history. So if Africa's always been rich, it has been, and Africa told you, Africans were always the richest on the planet, Joby. So why are now Africans poor? You live in the richest continent, Joby. So why are Africans poor? See, that's a conundrum. You live on the richest continent, but now Africans are poor because you were colonized by white people who steal all the resources because they got control of Africa. African people were never poor.
Somehow I do believe that, because African does not want to wake up, somehow I thought of, maybe we still have the slavery mind,
Yes, you do. We do, but you're waking up, Joby. You're waking up quick. There's a waking up coming. You waking up. Just think, 2 months ago, you're like, you had your mask on, you were scared to death. There's a wake up. Just like Dr. Mumby in Kenya. You go back and listen 3 years ago, she doesn't sound nothing like she does today. She was talking that Christian shit and Jesus. Now she said, hey, you gotta leave that shit's a lie. She completely waking up. She got Wake Up Africa. That Jesus shit's a lie. She said it makes me mad to see black people around Kenya worshiping a lie, worshiping this Jesus shit. Yes, it's a lie. White people never been your God. They're not your God.
They see the white Jesus as their God because Catholics worship the white Jesus. You can see even from the how did you call them, the icons that they get to put them on the walls.
That's called mind control. You got to ask yourself. That's only recent. These are recent icons that they brought. You go back millions of years as African people, so all your people couldn't have been evil. You come from the richest continent. All your people were rich. The richest people that ever lived were Africans. That's why I had you go look up who was the richest man who ever lived. The richest person. He's an African. Because Africa's rich. They weren't white people. White people were impoverished. They were eating dead bodies and maggots and shit. They were uneducated. They couldn't read or write. There was no English language. The African came into Europe and started teaching them how to read and write, how to wash their body. They didn't know how to bathe, Joby. These are facts. They didn't know how to wash their bodies because they were full of disease called the bubonic plague. The Africans said, hey, you must wash your ass.
I'm trying to look for the video whereby Museveni was telling Africa, trying to give them a speech, but I can't see it. I hope I'll come along it. But Africa, we just need to wake up. Like seriously, we need to spread the message. And I wish me as a young person, or rather as a young youth personally, it's my wish for me to spread out the message. And if I was given the purpose to, or rather the opportunity to stand on top of the world and tell my young fellow people,
that's what
just
you're
to
doing.
wake up.
That's your job. It's the youth. It don't come from the youth, Joby. It's not going to come from the old. It comes from the youth. The youth are going to wake up Africa. It comes from the youth.
Because
that's where it comes from.
The youths are the one who are being taken advantage of. Because if you see, even during the political times, they're the ones who are being used. When it comes to the civil wars, when it comes to going to scramble the whole politics things. I mean, it's just us who are being used, being tipped a little amount of money, and you see it's like you're on top of the world. It's really crazy. It's just so crazy, and we just need to change our mentality, the way we think, the way we reason, the way we look up at these Europeans as if they're gods. We just need to change all that. We just need to change all
What?
that because you
Well, you're
find
doing
you.
that now, Joby. You're doing that now. Once Africans start speaking more like you, got Maria in Uganda saying the same thing. She's young like you. It's the youth. What's the youth? The youth. The youth are the ones that understand. Yeah, these white people are not your gods, but you know your history. You, they wouldn't even living to be 35 years old. How can they be your god? They're full of disease. They couldn't
General,
read or write. So, hey,
General
let, let me,
yes.
let me, let's do this, Joe. Let's have some fun. I'm gonna show you something that's gonna blow your mind. This is
Uh-huh.
400 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
let's say, did the European use pepper
Mm-hmm.
as currency? Let's Google this. Did the Europeans? They didn't have money. They used to use pepper as money, as currency. And so did the European use pepper as currency? See what YouTube says.
Use temper. Did you say temper?
That's how poor they
Come on.
were. They would use
Come on.
pepper,
Mm-hmm.
Pepper, pepper,
Mm-hmm.
Pepper, pepper,
Mm-hmm.
the spice.
Mm-hmm.
They would use the spice as currency because they didn't have any money. They were broke. It was a poor continent. So did the European use pepper as currency?
Let me
You
just
know,
look at
pepper.
that.
Stuff you put on your chicken or your eggs or whatever, pepper.
Mm-hmm.
And you would see the
Okay.
European use pepper as currency. You're like, damn,
Yeah,
what? That's crazy. That's right.
it is crazy. And I guess General Mosquito saying that Africans believe that their ancestors are evil because they took bath in the river. What do you do when you go to the beach? And I do believe when it's really crazy and mind blowing. I remember when you kid asked me if I believed that my ancestors were evil, and it's because we grew up being told that they were evil. They did perform witchcrafts and stuff. It's just so crazy, and when you come to reality and just relate with everything, it is just so crazy. It is We are being taught to deny our
Because you were,
history,
because
which is from our
because you were told
ancestors.
lies to be dominated. You were told lies that well they had to tell you lies. They tell you lies. They said, how can we conquer this rich continent and these people? We gotta tell them lies. You gotta be told
I
lies. So how can
I
somebody
think
who has pepper as currency be your god? The
my goodness.
African had
I
gold. The white man
I,
had pepper. The African had gold and silver and diamonds. And the white people
mhm,
had pepper. He can't be
mhm.
your God. But
I,
you
I
don't
just
know
I
none of this. You don't
I
know.
just shared it.
Go,
I
go,
just
Joe.
shared it on. I shared it on the screen. Can you check if it's this one? Whereby it says Europeans explorers Marco Polo introduced the concept in Europe during the 13th century. Napoleon
Yeah.
issued paper banknotes in the early 1800s.
Yeah,
Is it that one?
that's the no, that's an explorer. That was Marco Polo who left
Mm-hmm.
Europe and went to China. He's one of the first Europe that left to China and seen that other places were
Mm-hmm.
developed because Europe was still underdeveloped, right?
Mm-hmm.
Europe was worse than Africa is today. It was it was nothing happening. So
Mm-hmm.
Marco Polo left, which is now today Italy. I think Marco Polo was from Florence, Italy, but he left Italy and went traveling to the east. He went to
Mm-hmm.
India and he went to China and see that they were really developed. And
Mm-hmm.
all this civilization came from Africa anyway. And the European was very dumb. He was underdeveloped. So,
It's crazy.
at that time,
It is
everybody wanted to
crazy.
know how did we get to Africa? Africa
It
got
is
all the
crazy.
damn money.
And that's why you see Africans are, after money. That's why they're going to they're going to the US states, leave Africa, because they're claiming that Africa is poor, and they're going to look for greener pastures.
Yeah,
Considering that, it's just so crazy, and
exactly
it's so
right. But they don't. But
mind.
is that what you said, Joe? They don't know because you haven't told. The money that you're going to Europe to go to greener pastures is coming out of Africa. That's them
Yeah,
stealing with their puppets. That money that you're going to get in Europe came out of Africa. There are no resources in Europe. So where's the money coming from? Africa. So when you're going to greener pastures, you're getting peanuts from the money that they stolen out of Africa. They're making slaves in Europe, and that money's coming out of Africa. That's where the money's coming from.
You get peanuts by, a house help, maybe even others even find that when they get there, maybe they are going to maybe do a hostess job, or maybe a hotel management job. When they get there, the whole thing is turned around. They find themselves that they have house helps, or maybe even washing snakes, because when we find others telling terrifying stories that I was washing snakes, I was washing rats or something, which is really crazy. It is so crazy, considering that we are so rich.
All that money comes from Africa. That's why the Asians are there. Like I said, you just read, Africa is the richest continent. The Chinese are not there to teach you shit. They're not there to be your friends. They're there to come and steal the wealth out of Africa.
The Chinese need to be taken away from. They need to be taken out of Africa. They need to be kicked out, actually. These foreigners, they need to be kicked out. If I had the opportunity, I will, because personally my thought was, I think Africa should put restrictions when it comes to these people coming into our countries. They should have a permit, actually. Like, what is your mission?
We got to understand. We got to say this honestly. The Chinese are coming in to colonize. That glad the young lady knew that, who was doing the interview yesterday. I think they're coming to colonize. Yes, I'm glad you understand that, young lady. That's why they're there. Africa's rich. Everybody wants Africa. Africa used to have control of it. That's why he was rich. That's why everybody started coming to Africa to control the wealth of that continent.
The problem that we have here in Africa, you can see when the young lady who was here doing the interview. I don't mean to criticize her, but when she was talking about learning the Chinese language, and when you asked her if she prioritizes the African people, she was like, yeah. But if you can see from the fashion, she's like, no. Because when you find young girls, if they get pregnant at an early stage, or rather at an early age, their mentality changes. If they had a purpose to, fulfilling their country, it totally changes. Now they start thinking of how they'll go to US, how they'll go to Dubai, how they go to Qatar to look for a job that will sustain them to, be able to raise their kids. And at the end of the day, you find that, they're going to be wasted. You spend there like 5 years. Yes, you're getting your peanuts, but the slavery that you're going through there, considering you are African, it is crazy. You have a history to tell after it. You have a history to tell after it, considering that you have your own history in your own continent.
Exactly. You got to put your own history first. You're not supposed to learn Chinese. Fuck Chinese. I don't want to learn that shit. You're supposed to know that's how they colonized. That's why we speak English, because they colonized us. You got to have. That's why it's crucial that you know Kiswahili. Kiswahili is an ancient language. Ancient. 7,000, 8,000 years. English don't go back 200 years ago, 150 years ago, because they didn't even know how to read and write. Your tongue is ancient. So you got to know a real African language to be able to think in African language. Very important. That's why Kiswahili has got to become the African language of the continent. Because we got to be able to communicate with one another. Go ahead, Joby.
I did touch on that, whereby you'll find that when someone gets pregnant, and if they're financially well off, they'll switch off to they'll go to the US, or maybe raise their kids in the US or in the States, because they don't want them to learn the African cultures. They don't want them to learn the African languages, and that is why we're totally wrong. Actually, that's how we go wrong.
Yeah, that's how you get conquered. That's how you get conquered when you now give up your language. Other people, and now you're on the bottom. Now you're being a servant in your own home. If I come in your house, Joby, I say, yes, Joby, you're going to learn my language. You're going to eat my food, do what I do. So now I'm sitting on your couch. You're in the kitchen serving me. I'm looking at your TV. I'm controlling your household. I'm the one ruling. You're my servant. The Chinese and the Europeans came in to make African servants in their own home, which is Africa. You don't be a servant in your own damn home, and especially the richest home on the planet. So, whole ideal is to now get African resources back in the hands of the African, and it's got to be unapologetic about it. East Indians are not our friends. That's why they don't want to leave Africa. The Asians are not our goddamn friends, and the Caucasians are not our friends. We never had any friends. But African people, you don't need any. All you got to do is unite. All you got to do is unite with one another because you are the majority on the planet. Don't do like the goofy Nigerian. Oh, I'm a whole African. You're a half African. Fuck all that dumb shit. African people, your whole African people. I don't care if you're in Brazil. I don't care if you're in the Caribbean. I don't care if you're in Canada. I don't care where you find yourself. As African people, you are the dominant on the planet. Once you come together again, you rule the planet again.
I was just saying the other day, I was telling Spikes here when we were having the Rhythm Scoop show, whereby I was telling him that, we need to create an African culture, be it you're in the US, be it you're in the, you're in New York, be it you're wherever country you are, be it you're in Kenya, be it you're in Rwanda or Burundi. We should create an African culture whereby it should be like a language, like a code. Even if I meet you in the streets, where in the New York or maybe in Kenya, we should have. We should have our own culture, our own code, whereby we're not going to be disrespected by these white people.
Your culture protects you, Joby, from being colonized. It protects you. You know who you are. You can't blame me, nobody white, nobody Asian, tell me that they're better than me because I know my culture. Your culture protects you, Joby, from colonization and being dominated. And so you're exactly right. See, from what you're saying is exactly right.
Totally. And we are almost coming to the end. Time is also not on our side, Keith. And at the end of the day, family, it's just what we've really talked about. We just need to create our own culture. And I'll keep on saying that. Be it you go, even if you want to raise your kid in the state, and of which I don't even recommend it. Even if you want to raise your kids in the state, or rather your family, let's have our own code, our own language, our own culture that is going to unite us. And
exactly. When the Chinese come to Africa, do they pick African culture? No, they stay Chinese. They bring their culture to you and tell you to accept their culture and be them. Fuck that. You got to love your culture.
I do believe if we create our own culture, even if these Chinese come into our countries and they have a permit, they're not gonna be allowed to disrespect us. We're gonna unite together and kick them out.
Exactly.
Period. But I want to thank everyone.
What Joby said is exactly true. And she's the youth. What she said is a fact. And that's what's got to be implemented. And that's from the youth. It's going to be the youth that saved Africa. And guess what? That's what the ancestors said. It's going to be the youth. When they start waking up, it's going to be the youth that saved Africa. And that's written thousands of years ago. Say when the African starts waking up, it's going to be the youth that wakes them up. That saves Africa.
Okay, and we are winding up, Keith. I want to thank everyone who has been here with us on the show. Thank you, General Mosquito, for your sentiments. And I can see you saying that I believe the global African culture is the African spiritual science of self. That's what unites our mind, and that is so true. Thank you so much, Keith, for your sentiments as well. And I do believe that, I've worked with something positive, and I do believe someone else has also worked out with something positive. And I do believe also the message should reach out to these people.
Let's love family. If we get Joby's family listening to the shows, their minds are going to be blown. What the hell is going on?
So, what is really going on? But thank you so much, family. We are coming to the end of the show, and we're gonna be winding up with this amazing song. This is One Time by the one and only J Freeze, and see you on the next shows. Keep it the Black Hot Fire Network. We have the Rhythm Scoop show lined up for you. We have the 254 to Jadili show. We also have the 54 correspondent show, and it's all about amazing vibes. And also have an amazing weekend.
Yeah. This is Black Family.
Gonna be my baby, you a freak. Rolling on the right beat, baby wanna kiss. This is nice city with a good chick, never fits. Shorty got a nice body, then we got
Oh, she like it when I touch her body. Oh, she like it. Oh, she like it when I touch her body. Oh, she like it.
Much peace and love, family. I hope you did enjoy the show. Keeping the Blackout Fire Network. As I said, we have other amazing shows like that for you. This is She Like It by the one in Triple K. I hope it turns you into the mood of the weekend as you get to enjoy your weekend. Have a lovely afternoon.
Lips check, smile check, nothing fake. Lips check, smile check, nothing fake.